Hi there, listeners, and welcome back to another season of the Curious Collective podcast. Welcome to 2024. This podcast was brought to the world by myself to create conversation around those holistic practices that are out there. I initially designed this podcast for the wider conscious community, those that are curious, those that are wanting to find out more about all the modalities that are out there to support tapping into, the best version of yourself. And then I came to the realization that the people that I really want to serve and the space that I really want to educate in is the veteran and first responder space. So here I am into the second season of it being a veteran and first responder focused podcast. So what I wanted to come on here today to talk about was to sort of recap last season's amazing guests that we had, and also to talk into this topic of I am. So my theme and word for this year for me personally is trust. And if you are into doing a little bit of self-development, I encourage you to tap into a word of the year for yourself and see what that means for you. And then use that word throughout the year as a reflective practice to come back and ask some deeper questions that you might journal about or chat to a conscious friend about. Is how am I keeping in touch with that word for myself for the year? So trust for me. How am I going with actually trusting myself and my own intuition? How are my relationships with myself and those around me? Are they built on trust? Where am I trusting too much? Where am I not trusting enough? Areas like that, like the questions are infinite. You can go as deep as you want. You can even stick with just the one question and then go, but what more? But what more? And then just keep going and going and going and just unraveling those layers for yourself. So this topic of I am. So I last year went to a workshop by one of my most favorite mentors, and her name is Ina Segal, and she's written a couple of books. One of them is my favorite, which is called The Secret Language of the Body. Her main message when she walked into that room with all of us for the whole weekend was, you know nothing. You know nothing. So what she was encouraging us to approach this lifetime as is one of continuous learning, one of continuous self-discovery, introspection, curiosity. And the umbrella of that being the theme of I am. So discovering each and every day and each and every present moment what the I am theme means to you. The word intuition means inner tuition. How can we study and learn more about ourselves in our everyday? Now, there's a myriad of modalities that you can tap into. And if you go back to my very first veteran first responder focused episode, number 57, I talk into this. Whereas one size doesn't fit all. What works for me might not necessarily work for you, but at the core of it, we are all on this journey of self-discovery, tapping back into our innate wisdom, what it is that we're here to do on this earth. And I have been introduced recently in a workspace as, this is Kate, the hippie. She does breathing and stuff. It's a bit woo-woo, but she's okay. I'm okay with that. If that's the language that needs to be used to create conversation, I'll be up for that. I'm not attached to any labels. I'm not really labeling what the work that it is that I'm here to do. But the core focus of the work that I'm here to do is to bring you back to your own innate power within, to ignite the curiosity within your soul of what more this life could offer for you. So let's look at it. I love the chakras or the energy centers. So let's look at it like that. If we're approaching the subject of I am from an energetic perspective, I've got the banner behind me for those that are watching on the visual, or thinking now, if you're listening in on the podcast, is the 7 main chakras or energy centers within the body. Originating at the base is our root chakra through to our crown. So let's look at those levels with regards to I am. So if we're studying ourselves and we're asking questions around I am in the root chakra, we might ask things like, where is it that I belong? Where have I felt really at home? How's my family life right now? How has my journey and connection to family been throughout my life? How are some ways that I can improve my health, whether it be physical health, mental health, spiritual health? Where are some areas of my life where I'm not feeling safe? Where could I create better boundaries in order to feel safe, to feel grounded? Where am I not feeling grounded and anchored to this earth? Where am I holding fear in my body? So some of those sorts of questions. Again, infinite amount of questions available there. If we go up to the sacral, this is our relationships. So how is my relationship with myself? How is my relationship with others? Am I connecting to how I'm feeling? Do I understand how emotions work in the body? Emotion, energy in motion. Am I in flow with life? Am I able to connect to the feminine energy within me, which is the being, the breathing, the yin, the sort of more relaxed style? Being able to actually relax, is that something that's within your repertoire? If we move up to the solar plexus, we might ask questions around, who am I? How is my self-confidence? Am I able to speak up? Do I have the will, the drive to bring into this world all that I'm thinking of and creating in my body? Am I feeling anger? Am I feeling resentment? What does that mean? Where is that holding in my body? Which organs are in that area? This self-discovery can go so deep. There's so many layers for some people that we are on this continuous journey of always learning. And that thing comes back to, we know nothing. Come into this world with, yes, you've learned stuff along the way, awesome, but approach this new version of you as I know nothing. So we did solar plexus. If we move up to the heart, we think about the divine qualities of the heart: love, compassion, forgiveness, empathy. Where in my life am I not showing myself enough love? Where could I forgive myself for things that I've done perhaps in the past or now that I'm holding on to too tight? Where could I forgive others? Where could I feel empathetic resonance for someone else, where I can feel what they're feeling, but know that it's theirs and that I'm not attached to that, but I can be there. I can hold that space. Where can I give more or less? Where can I receive more or less? Giving and receiving is in the heart, much like we breathe in and we breathe out. That giving and that receiving in life. We move up to the throat. Am I listening to my intuition? Am I listening to myself? Am I speaking my truth when I hear that voice? Am I able to feel into what other people's words are saying when people speak to you? Are you already thinking of what you want to say, or are you actually listening to what's behind those words? Where can you speak less? Hold your voice in and listen more. We move up to our third eye chakra. This is about our inner wisdom, our intuition, our inner tuition. It's about tapping into, what am I seeing as an illusion within my life? What is a reality? What could be my reality? This is where our dreams are. This is what we envisage. This is our great remembering. This is our pineal gland anatomically. We can open up this eye and discover more about ourselves, the world around us. We move up to the crown. This is our connection to our highest version of ourselves. This is our connection to all that is, to infinite wisdom, to unlocking the secrets that could free us, that could create spaciousness within our life. This is the part of Shavasana and the end of a yoga class where you're lying there and you can just drift off and dream. Or do you lay in that Shavasana at the end of a yoga class thinking about all the myriad of things you need to do and how much of a waste of time it is? It's discovering and learning about yourself and what's coming up for you and facing it head on, learning about what that means for you, questioning it. Now, we can't tap into our inner tuition, our intuition, unless we are centered and grounded in our body. And that, to me, encapsulates that I am. If we want to choose us and to do these things that I've spoken into on this podcast, the very first one for this new season, 2024, we need to want it. We need to be thirsty for it. We need to be curious for it. We need to want to follow the breadcrumbs and the pull and the call and listen to where this might take us. what magic could unravel for you on this path, whether it be perceived as good or bad. It just is. You know, things pop up and challenges pop up, but they're lessons, or as my beautiful mentor Jazz says, they're blessings. So blessings and lessons, all part of this earthly experience. So what my work here is this year is to help us to tap into this I am, to help you to tap into your inner wisdom. The main tools that I personally teach this through is breath work. So I do deep, transformative, trauma-informed breath work. So that word trauma-informed gets thrown around a lot, but what it actually just means is I've embodied what it means to understand yourself on the cellular level and the window of tolerance within the central nervous system, within the cells of the body. So not pushing ourselves outside of that and getting trapped in a what people call trauma response, but being able to learn from the experience of using the breath as medicine, and to be able to take away from that some really practical steps to apply in your everyday life to actually move the needle, to actually create change in your life, and to be able to do these practices in your own time, with your own breath, because you are born with it and you die with it. It's just this magical thing that, you know, 80% of the population aren't utilizing to its full potential. So breath work is a huge one for me that I love to teach. I also really love to teach around the energy in the body. So this, in yogic terms, is things like the chakras or energy centers, but also the meridians from traditional Chinese medicine and the energetics of the organs within the body. So I have an offering which is called a 5-day energy reset, and it's a remote offering where you connect with me via Messenger or WhatsApp or Signal, whatever platform it is that you feel safest with. And for 5 days, you have me remotely in your pocket. And what we do is we tap into and talk about the energy within your body, how it currently sits and works, and how you can understand and balance that energy to then go out and be more curious and unravel more layers of your being and learn more things about yourself and rediscover what it is to be a human, what it is to be you, and how to choose yourself and reignite that power within you so that you can shine in your everyday. So the work I do really excites me. We've got some face-to-face events coming up this year. We have some online events coming up, all sorts of magic rolling out. So stay tuned to the socials. The podcast guests are phenomenal. We have already recorded 3 amazing podcasts. We have hypnotherapy straight up. We've got plant medicines. We've got people coming on to talk about nutrition and deep ways to heal the physical body, all sorts of magic. But what I really wanted to wrap up this episode with is just a recap of the magic that we had at the end of last year. So some of our episodes from last year, if you wanted to scroll back from episode 57 onwards, is we had talks about nutrition. We had talks about like wilderness adventures, deep transformative breath work, psychedelics in the Peruvian jungles. We had art as a form of therapy. Tim talking about breath work in bed and how we can use that in our everyday. We had Taoism and talks of ancient wisdoms, bringing that in, Qigong and more of that meditation and Vipassana retreats. We had some NLP, so neuro-linguistic programming. We had some more like collective community-focused healing, where we're coming together and sharing. More breath work. Get in there and learn about breath work. It's phenomenal. Yoga, yin yoga, Ashtanga. There's so many different types of yoga. If you're into the body work, we had like a gym for the mind. So someone talking about how we can use ancient wisdoms and techniques to unlock parts of the mind, and then that mind and body connection, bringing them together. We spoke into quantum healing with the Healy and how we can use frequencies to shift the energy in our body. We spoke into resilience training and mentoring for men. We spoke into neuroscience and unlocking the powers of the mind in order to change and modify our DNA, which is super fascinating. And then we had a beautiful guest talking about shamanic wisdom and bringing in drums and music and deep meditation and, moving into those more esoteric models as a form of education, self-education, inner tuition. So please revisit some of our past episodes, but also stay tuned for future episodes. Big love to every single listener that tunes in. You make my day brighter with your comments. Please drop feedback into comments wherever this podcast is posted, or come visit us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever it is, LinkedIn, and just tell me what it is that you got from an episode that you heard, what it is you're doing in your life to move the needle. And if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast to share your experiences, please reach out. Peace out.